Go to getamazonnow.com and give a gift card.
Welcome to humanity. This is our one.
Whatever it takes, we got to say whatever it takes is what it took.
This is Brock Lesnar, and you're listening to Fight Net Radio.
Yo, hi, this is Sugar Ray Leonard, and you listen to Fight Net Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to listen to Fight Net Radio.
Me, Harvey Oswald, what's your name? I know how am I supposed to know you?
This is Frank Shamrock. You're listening to Fight Net Radio.
Hi, this is Nia, the Knockout St. John. You're listening to Fight Net Radio, and there's no way I would ever touch Lee.
This is Chuck Jackson.
I am Stephen Bonner, and you're listening to Fight Net Radio.
Dan Henderson, you're listening to Fight Net Radio.
Everybody, welcome to Fight Net Radio, where Lee's burning every bridge there is out there. All right.
Hi, this is Manny Pacquiao. I'll fight anybody on FightNetRadio.com.
Whatever it takes, we got to say whatever it takes. All the truth for whatever it takes. This is how we show it. Whatever it takes. 'Cause we ain't got nothing to whatever it takes.
I am the king of the world. Hold it. Hold it. You're not that pretty. I'm a bad man. Wait. I took up the world.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Fight Net Radio. Lee Honish, Andrew Lapache, bringing you the news of boxing. The catchword is boxing. So you guys didn't like last week's show. Nobody listened to last week's show, Andrew.
Oh, that sucks.
I can never understand our crowd.
They were
week's
busy, Lee. They were busy.
Apparently. I mean, there were topics. I mean, you would think maybe everybody's over the Floyd Mayweather thing. Perhaps.
Oh, it got
But
hot
that
again, but go ahead.
That is, yeah, I know. But that is not to say the greatest middleweight champion of all time, just ask him, competed this past Saturday night on a pay-per-view card. Gennady Golovkin took on Daniel Jacobs to win a 12-round unanimous decision that I sure as hell didn't see coming. Scoring, let's be honest, it was probably in the range of 115, 112 across the board. One judge had it closer at 114, 113 because that was clearly Jacobs' family member. But by and large, he won the majority of the fight. Andrew, I posed this question to you. I think because Gennady Golovkin has knocked out so many people, right? And he wanted Billy Joe Saunders so much. Did he coast in this fight?
You know, okay, good way to start this off. How's it going, Lee?
Hi, Andrew. I honestly, what I saw was a Gennady Golovkin who was.
I'm gonna tell you something.
Plotting, but I felt he coasted.
We used that one last time, and going into this fight, Lee, I said this fight was gonna prove if he was too relaxed in there with Kell Brook because he didn't fear his power. He knew he was fighting a welterweight. Or is it that he's 35 and he's been fighting for so long, yes, that maybe the ring is starting to get to him. Last night, in my opinion, it proved that Gennady Golovkin is clearly on the downside of his career. Lee, I had him losing this fight 115 to 112.
You're high as a kite.
No.
Were you high last night?
No.
Were you drinking while you watched this?
You know, Lee, it's a shame how HBO will flip-flop on when they want their guy to win. It's either the harder punches, the aggression, or when it's a Pernell Whitaker, Floyd Mayweather type fighter, it's the ring generalship, the feet work, the hand speed, the number of punches. Once again, the CompuBox I do not agree with last night. I think that was total bullshit how they came back and told us that Gennady Golovkin had landed more punches than Daniel Jacobs. With my own two eyes, and I've watched the fight twice now, he does not land more punches than Daniel J. I don't know how they do their CompuBox, but Gennady Golovkin was limited last night. HBO is saying things like Daniel Jacobs is landing all sorts of punches. Daniel Jacobs is doing great from the southpaw. It was a Daniel Jacobs night. Did anyone else get that? When were they saying, oh, the combinations of Golovkin, he has Jacobs on the ropes, there's nowhere for him to go? Where was this for Golovkin? The whole night, yeah, there was a few punches. They would say, oh, that was a nice one punch. But excuse me, you just got hit with 3 jabs in a right hand before that one punch. In my book, it's 3-1 right now. Daniel Jacobs did a perfect job. Listen, this is why all foreigner fighters come here to the States and fight at New York, fight in Las Vegas, Lee. This is where the best are. We talked about it. It's the American boxer. It's the circuit that we have that is the best in boxing. Gennady got a piece of that. This was his first run. Willie Monroe Jr. is a great American boxer, but his claim to fame was winning a middleweight tournament on ESPN. He had limited power. He's not Daniel Jacobs, okay? Curtis Stevenson, great American power punching boxer. He is not your typical American. He doesn't have the feet movement, the jab, the defense. Daniel brought all of that, and he was bigger. It's a great fight. That was an absolute great fight last night. They have to bring it back, Lee. You know, I'll get into the fight. We'll talk about it. I just thought it was great, Lee. Go ahead.
No, I'm.
Well, I don't want to go on my little.
I'm in the.
I don't want to go on my.
I'm in the opposite. No, I got to be honest. I'm in the opposite, Andrew.
Oh, I'll tell you where they screwed him. You want to know where they screwed Daniel Jacobs? When we watch this fight over, people, I want you to pay attention around 6, 7, and 8. Because in all 3 judges' scorecards, they gave Golovkin a sweep. Let me double check that. But I believe it's those 3 rounds that we have to check, Lee. And I believe that's where they screwed Daniel Jacobs. Excellent performance. Look at Rozier. Awesome training last night. Every time HBO had him mic'd up, every time they went in the corner of Jacobs, he's saying the right things. Everything. And Jacobs listened to his guy. Virgil Hunter, Andre Ward got to be proud of Daniel Jacobs last night. He did a similar game plan to what they do, and he looked pretty good doing it. Let me tell you to all you Triple G fans that said Golovkin and Ward would have been a close fight. It wouldn't have. It wouldn't have. If that's what a middleweight looks like, could you imagine what a 168 Ward would have looked like against Golovkin? I'm sorry. Golovkin got tested last night. You want to say he barely passed? Fine. I won't argue it, Lee. I'm not going to sit here and argue it, but I will watch that fight with you. I will watch. Any Triple G fan want to rewatch the Daniel Jacobs fight? I'm there. I'm game. I got 7 rounds. I got 8 rounds that kid won. Let me see where yours are. Give me your opinion on the 8 rounds that you think Golovkin won. There's a lot of times in boxing that this happens. When there's such a controversial decision, you'll have the fan base that lost say, let's rewatch it. And the guy that won never wants to because he don't have 7 rounds that his guy won. He's just going off the fucking scorecards.
You're a hater.
I'm not a hater. I like Triple G. Come on. You know that. He's connected.
I don't believe that.
Not only is he's connected to Chavez, bro. That's why I've always liked Triple G. When Triple G first came out, Abel Sanchez said on a Showtime, I think it was a Showtime card, that when he seen Golovkin in the amateurs, he gave him a tape of Chavez and Rosario and said that he wanted Golovkin to study Chavez and try to mimic his style. I was connected ever since. When Ricky Hatton said it, I became a Hatton fan. When Golovkin said it, Lee, I became a Golovkin fan. I'm not, Lee, listen. And anyone that follows this show will know this. We talked about what the boxing world did to Triple G, and I think they were successful in it. They waited for him to get old. He's 35, Lee. He looks 35 in the ring now. This is 2 back-to-back fights where everybody is not only saying exposed, there was a lot saying he didn't win last night. A lot of people saying he didn't win last night. I'm just personally not one of them. There's a no, and I totally get it. Look at rematch it. There is no point in aiming for Canelo at this moment.
Oh, look, that fight got you Billy Joe Saunders. You want the other belt.
No. I'm going to tell you this. They're not going to do Billy Joe Sanders and they're not going to do Chris Eubank anymore. Both of those fights are off the table. Lee, he would have lost in the UK. You fight either one of those guys in the UK with I'm going to tell you what helped, did not help Daniel Jacobs last night. Where the hell was New York? This kid was fighting the best middleweight in the world. He had a tremendous record. Lee, we're talking about one punch away from being a super fight. He was one punch away from that. And let me tell you, when he got knocked out by Pirog, Daniel Jacobs did, his grandmother died that week. They didn't even want him to fight. Daniel Jacobs, I learned this on the 24/7. Daniel Jacobs continued to go on with that fight anyways. That's a huge burden to take into the ring right before a match. So this was one fight away from both of these guys being undefeated. Superstar, super fight. Where was New York? Where were they at? I'm telling you, Saunders and Eubank, they're going to get their 20,000 over in the UK. He won't win. He didn't land. Dude, Daniel Jacobs was landing power shots, little shots, jabs. He did a great job of mixing it up. It was, I loved how he fought. I'm telling you, hey, I had it wrong. I said fire at fire. No, the American boxer's always the best plan to go. You stick and move, keep your jab out there, fire the right hand. I loved his right hand last night. Lee, there's way more highlights of Daniel Jacobs landing combinations than there are Triple G. Tell you that. Go tell them to get the highlight reel on HBO, what they were showing. Jabs? That was their number one word for Triple G last night. Jab. What a jab. Come on. Whatever happened to ring generalship? Whatever happened to defense? Whatever happened to landing the better punches, combinations? Whatever happened to all this? All of a sudden, it's the jab and the one power shot. Oh, that was a great shot. Could have won him the round. Get out of here. Stop it. We all know what's going on.
And in the undercard, the best news of the evening, other than the struggle for the main event, that, by the way, Andrew, nobody watched this fight card. You know that, right?
Yes. Yeah, it was hard. It was hard. The first two fights, they were, actually the first kid looked decent. The 5'11" lightweight, that was a decent fight. He was fighting
So you paid the $89. You didn't. You didn't hot stream this.
No. This was a good fight, Lee. Good fight.
Okay,
I had money on this one.
The biggest part of the evening came in the co-main event. Would you not agree?
Yes. Yeah. Yes, I would.
The number one pound for pound fighter in the world lost to a garbage collector.
Oh, will you stop it? Hey, listen.
Hey, is he not?
No. Whoa. Why, is that his real job? Did you hear something?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm not even, dude, I'm not making this stuff up. Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez, the number one pound for pound fighter in the world, suffered a stunning defeat. Stunning defeat.
It was. Lee, I can't. He was 1,001 favorite.
By a legit nobody from Thailand. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the dude's name.
Yeah, I didn't even want to talk about him because of that.
A head-to-toe battle, fight of the year written all over it for the sold-out crowd when things look really bad for Gonzalez, especially with the gash that bled profusely throughout.
They got it.
Sort of like
Lee, they got to be smarter than that with the name. You got to change his name. What does it mean in American? Give me that name. You know what I'm saying? That's not his name in English, right, Lee? Give me his name in English, gosh damn it. What the hell's going on?
That would be helpful.
That would be helpful.
Gonzalez was making his first defense of the WBC's flyweight title, which he won last September against Carlos Cuadras in perhaps one of his toughest fights. For some ridiculous reason, somewhere along the way, Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez was named the consensus pound-for-pound number one fighter in the world. By HBO. And somehow Oscar picked up on it and put it in his magazine. Oops! Did I say that out loud? And got exposed by a former trash collector from Thailand. Dude, I can't even make this shit up.
Hey Lee, look it. I didn't
Like, he's exposed by a legit.
no.
This is a Rocky Balboa